So a reason to celebrate now, a Japanese man has officially been confirmed as the oldest man in the world. He is 112 years and 345 days. Chitetsu Watanabe was born on the 5th of March 1907 and was officially recognised by the Guinness World Records. They gave him a certificate at the nursing home where he resides. So what is the secret to living a long life? Let's speak to life coach and Ikigai expert Simon Alexander Ong. Simon, good afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Sarah Jane.
It's interesting. The world's oldest man says the secret to a long life is to always smile and never get angry. Is it that simple?
I think whoever you ask who's lived a long life, they will share different reasons as to what's contributed to their long life. And I think happiness is, first of all, a result of being grateful, of starting with gratitude, understanding that we have only one life, and not taking it too seriously. You know, life is short at the end of the day, and if we truly appreciate that, the focus is then on doing the work which fulfills us, which brings us joy and happiness.
And let's talk about Ikigai, which is a Japanese word. And the Ikigai culture is essentially the Japanese secret to a long and happy life. Explain to us what that word means and what it means to Japanese culture.
Sure. Well, in essence, Ikigai really is understanding what our purpose is. The French might call it the raison d'etre. And it's the intersection of what we love, what we enjoy doing, what the world needs, and what the world can pay us for. And I think when we live life true to ourselves, true to our strengths, and we find a place in the world that needs that, and we intersect that together, that's when we experience more flow and enjoyment in the work that we do there. And that's why there's a big difference between success and fulfillment. You can be successful in something you hate, but it's far more important to understand what fulfillment looks like to you and the sort of impact you want to have in the world.
It was interesting. I was reading before we came on air that, did the Japanese have a word for retirement? Because I was reading that, you know, in Japanese culture, you know, work is part of your life, and the principles of Ikigai, the two are interchangeable, so you can work well into ripe old age, and the reason you live longer is because you're happy in your existence.
Yeah, I think when you are doing the work that you enjoy, there is no distinction between work and retirement, because it's just who you are. It's a part of your being, if you will. You embrace you embrace what comes with it. If you look at Richard Branson, I think it's a great example. He could easily have retired by now. He could have easily given up and lived life continuing to enjoy time on his island there, but he continues to start new businesses, start new projects. That's just part of who he is. He enjoys the thrill of entrepreneurship, of doing what he does.
It's quite interesting. While we're romanticizing this aspect of Japanese culture, there is another side to it. The Japanese people are some of the hardest working in the world in terms of, you know, a 60-hour week, especially for those who work in office jobs, is not uncommon. There are pictures readily available on the internet of Japanese businessmen sleeping on the street. They're so tired, and, you know, that has a real impact on their health. So there is a flip side to all of this. Japan isn't all about living long and prospering.
Totally, Sarah Jane. And I think it's important when we look at that is it's not all about hard work. It's not all about working all the hours in the day. What's important when you do look at some of these stories about people who have lived a long life is they've also understood the importance of finding that life rhythm. Having periods of where, yes, you do work hard, but also a time where you do slow down. Very often, many of us need to slow down in order to speed up. Because it's in those moments where we get to live, where we get to enjoy all that life has for us. There's a great story, a little-known story that I came across not too long ago about the American inventor Thomas Edison. And he used to spend some time in his schedule every day to go fishing. But in all the times that he went fishing, he never caught a single fish. And the reason he didn't was because he never used bait. So no one would disturb him, not even the fish. And that was his moment to reflect, to refresh, to renew. And that's often where he credits some of his great ideas coming from. It's the equivalent of us going swimming or going on a long-haul flight. And as we're on that flight, when we have no distractions, we're connected to whatever you want to call it, wisdom, intuition, that inner compass.
Okay, well, it's a top tip that in terms of switching off to really get your life started. A lot of us could take a leaf out of that book. Simon Alexander Ong, a life coach. Thank you very much for talking to us, reflecting now on the world's oldest man, recognised by the Guinness Book of Records. He says all it takes is a bit of good humour and a smile.